Hello, everybody. I hope it's working this evening, not like it was this morning. I hope all of you can hear me. I see people in the chat. That was something this morning. I kept talking and I was like, there's nobody saying anything. I bet they can't hear me. So I hope that you hope you're able to hear me this evening. The storm stuck around, kind of stormy weather all day long, but this evening it's cleared off and we've got blue skies. I think it's supposed to come back, but hopefully not before we finish this tonight. So I hope that all of you can hear me and that everything's okay. And hope it wasn't too bad of a storm at your house if you had stormy weather today or too much rain. I've been seeing in the weather that a lot of people forecasted to have flooding. So I hope there's no bad flooding. Okay, I feel like everybody's here this morning. I just kept talking, and then every once in a while I'd say, maybe I should see if somebody, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Finally, I called Matt on my phone upstairs, called him and said, would you go look and see if you can see me? He's like, no, you can't. So I tried it one more time and it didn't work then either. So that's why I'm doing it this evening. So we had a great weekend. We hope that you did too. We had a really nice Mother's Day. I hope all of you did. I hope that if you're a mother or you mother someone, even if you're not technically a mother, I hope you had a wonderful day. We had a really nice day with Granny. Got to spend some time with her. Of course, a nice day at church. Always tries to do something for the mothers. And then here at home, we had a nice time. I think that Katie and Corey videoed some of our little. We got together for a supper. Matt and Austin wanted to take us all out to eat. They've been planning this, for a week or so. And Katie and Corey and me all said we really just don't want to go out to eat. We'd rather just kind of all of us pitch in and help each other and just eat together here at home. So that's what we did. The only thing I had to do, I got out easy. The only thing I had to do was make the dessert. I'll share a video of that. I did film myself making the dessert. So I'll share that later this week, maybe tomorrow. But it was a very, very nice day. So I hope it was for all of you too. Granny was really excited to get some of the cards people had sent her, all of you. Of course, she had lots of company coming by to tell her hello and tell her Happy Mother's Day and getting to see the grandkids. So she really, really, of course, enjoyed that. She always does. So she had a good day. One of the exciting things that we had over the weekend, a lot of you checked on me either in the comments or sent me an email to ask about our earthquake that you saw. We had an earthquake. We did have an earthquake. So I don't know if any of you live in the area where you could feel it, but it was just a few minutes after 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. Paul and Matt and Austin, none of them felt it because Paul and Matt were working. Paul had rented a track hoe, and then with Matt's tractor, between the both of them, they were working on our driveway and Paul's driveway down through there. So they were right up, with the machines and on top of the machines. So they didn't really notice it because of all the, I guess they were already shaking kind of in the sound. And Austin was on his way back from Murphy, so he was driving, so he just didn't notice it. But Katie and I and Ira were in the kitchen, and Katie was actually talking on the phone to Corey. She was at home, but they were talking on the phone. They talk on the phone a lot. And when I first, how our brains are so amazing, the way how fast they can work, just in a split second. Like I heard the noise and my first thought was that machinery, but then I'm like, cross that out, too far away, just instantly. My second thought, helicopter, because you can kind of feel and hear there's, a sound. And but instantly was like, the sound's not changing. If it was a helicopter going over, it would just go on over the house, that it would be a variation in the sound. And then I thought, earthquake, it's earthquake. So it seemed like this one to me lasted longer than the ones we've had before. I don't know, about 30 seconds. I may be saying that way too long. Maybe you can Google and see exactly how long it lasted, but I would say a good 30 seconds is what it seemed like to me. And it was just, it's always strange when you live in a place where you don't have things like that. So it was rather strange, and it did seem longer than ones I've had before. And if you've uh, the ones we have here are not major, so someone watching from California or somewhere can give way more information. But for here, it's like a sound, like a vibration, and then you can hear the excuse me, maybe the tinkling of the glasses, like in your cabinets or something like that. And it's just an unnerving kind of thing. Of course, once my brain told me what it was, I knew it was going to be fine. The only thing I was worried about was I was worried about Granny. That not that she'd be hurt or anything like that. Wasn't worried about that, but I was afraid that she would hear it, and then she would be scared that it was Matt and Paul and they had got hurt. Like it was an accident. That's what I was afraid of. So as soon as it stopped, I got the phone and went outside and called her, and I said, "Are you okay?" She said, "Yeah." And I said, "Did you just feel that? Did you hear something? Did you feel something?" She said, "Oh, I did. Yeah." And I said, "Well, it was an earthquake." And she said, "Oh, well, I thought it was them on that machinery." But she said, "I'm in the bathroom and I can't see out. And I just thought that they had drove into my yard." So she did think it was them, but she thought they had, for some reason, decided to bring the machinery to her yard. I said, "No, they're still on the driveway." But so she was not scared like I thought she would be. So she was fine. But y'all have to, I see some people saying that they felt the earthquake. So I have my friend Don Cassida shared with me, because he felt it too. And it was 4.1. I should have said that, 4.1. He's in Swain County, but he shared this link with me where you can go and see the areas that it affected or that might have felt it. So you can look there and see if maybe you were in that area or maybe you weren't in that area. One other one that really sticks out in my mind one time that we felt that was similar to this one, I would say. I don't remember how many years ago it's been, but it's been many. And it was way up in the middle of the night. So, of course, we were dead asleep, and the sound and the shaking. And that time, maybe the shaking was worse. I'm not sure. But I had I used to collect angels. So I had a lot of angels, like porcelain angels, on a dresser beside mine and Matt's bed. And they were hitting together. And one of them actually fell and broke that time. But me and Matt both trying to, get ourselves awake. We didn't say anything, but we both had the same thought. Like, what could that be? It has to be an explosion, is what we were thinking. And Matt just didn't say a word, but he just jumped up and run outside in his underwear on the porch to look around. And my brother, Steve, and Kim, they had, natural gas. Is that what it's called, Matt? Propane. And so in our mind, that was the first thing we thought of. By the time he come back in, we both were like, earthquake. It was an earthquake. But that one was really strange just because it was way up in the night. And it did, some stuff did fall over and break, some of my little angels. So anyway, that was our exciting day on Saturday, was the earthquake. And Corey and Katie couldn't really, Katie said she remembered that other one a little bit and another one maybe. But Corey, for some reason, just really had never said she couldn't remember any of those others. Of course, that one that was way up in the middle of the night, they probably slept right through that. So, because they would have been young anyway. But so she really was impressed by the one that we had on Saturday. So that was an exciting thing for all of us. Just looking at my notes here. Thinking about people still. I appreciate all of you praying, and I've been praying for all of you that's asked. Still, please remember Wendy and Buzz and Sandra and Janice, Kat and Lilybet. And then also someone had asked me to pray for Norma. That was a lady at their church that they thought her cancer might have come back. So thank you so much for your prayers and praying for Granny and for all of us. And we pray for you too. And if you have others, please leave them there in the chats. Will be fine, and I'll pray for you. And I appreciate all the prayers. Prayers are our greatest weapon. So it's a wonderful thing that we can share and pray for each other. one of the little notes I'd made was about one of the videos we did last week was actually Matt's birthday. Was that last week? Seems like time's going so fast, but I guess it was.
Week ago.
Yeah. Anyway, in that video, so many people was confused because on his cake, I said it in the video, but I may not have said it clearly. They might have misunderstood. But was that there were 60 on the cake? Granny did that just to be funny. Matt was actually 56 years old. He's 56 years old. So she's done that for the past couple of years. She's put that 60 on there just to tease Matt, about being older than he really is. But so many people asked me about that. I thought there's probably other people wondering, so I should say that. Should say that out loud so that everybody knows. I have one other thing here I wanted to share. This was someone that started a YouTube channel because of us, but it's really it's totally different kind of channel, but really, really cute and really relaxing. I know a lot of you like things to relax too, so you can check this out. This is The Adventures of Sassy Belle. There it is. So you can go check that channel out. It's kind of, think of like a time lapse, or not a time lapse, but like just a camera showing like some feeders with squirrels and different birds and everything. It's very, very relaxing. So I know that you'll enjoy it. All of you who just need something to relax and kind of settle down. So I know that you'll enjoy that. You can check that out. We also I have a few of the egg separators. I don't have any mugs right now, but I have a few of the egg separators. So I'll put that link in there. If you need an egg separator, you can check that out. And then I wanted to share some of Paul's songs that he did last week. For the old timey song, it's really, I know you'll enjoy this, was because it's got Granny in it, was How Great Thou Art. Isn't that just one of the most beautiful songs ever? So him and Granny did that. I see somebody answering, so I didn't see the question, but yes, Paul is my brother. So there's that one. I love that song, How Great Thou Art. I can never hear it that I don't just in awe think about the glory of the Lord. And it's just such a powerful, moving song. So, and Granny and Paul do a good job on it. So I know you'll enjoy it. And then this one for the original song for last week was another one of Pap's, Words of Life. It's a really, really great song too. And Paul plays it on the piano, which is really nice, and sings it. And then he shares the recording of Pap and his brothers. So that's really a nice one for you to hear too. And then some of you may have already seen this one, but Paul shared it for Mother's Day. I put it in a post, but The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. And so he did that for Mother's Day, and that's a really great song if you've never heard it before. And he does a great job on that one too. Let's see. I'm trying to think about the time. I don't want to keep y'all too much. I think that's all I had for wisdom from the comments, but let's see if I can look at some of the comments. Oh, I'm so glad, Rebecca, that you enjoyed them singing. Yeah, I remember George Beverly Shea singing that too. Amazing. So many people do a great job on it at Easter. Some people at our church sung it. And actually, Paul talks about that, I think, in the video with him and Granny. And then he also links, I think he says in the description, he'll put a link to Doyle Dykes, our friend Doyle doing it, which is really, really great. Yeah, I wasn't planning on going live this evening, but this morning, my usual Monday live got interrupted by the thunderstorms that we were having some thunderstorms this morning. So I had to try again. The Stanley brothers are not from our area. I think somebody on here probably knows, but I'm thinking like Kentucky maybe, but I may be wrong about that. But they're not from Western North Carolina, but I'm not sure exactly where they're from. But yeah, Billy Strings is amazing. We all think he's amazing guitar player. Yeah, and singer too. But yeah, he's really something. He's really, really amazing. Susie, it's been raining here all day too, and I think it's like blue. I can see blue sky, but I think Matt told me that it's supposed to come back. The rain is okay. Yes, they are from Kentucky. I knew y'all would know. Yeah, yeah. The faucet's been on here for sure. Little Jimmy Dickens is really funny too. The take a cold tater and wait's what I think about when I think of him. And of course his suits and all that. His hat, his big old hat. Debbie, I don't make my pot holders. Those pot holders I have that you can tell are handmade was sent to me by wonderful people who watch our videos. So that's where they come from. I've never made a pot holder. Oh, I love In the Garden too. Paul, if you go to the Blind Pig and the Acorn YouTube channel, you can hear Paul and Pap doing it. Of course, I'm very partial, but I think it's a beautiful version of them doing In the Garden. And you can find it on the Presley Girls channel too. We did eat supper. We actually had leftovers. Matt's down here with me. He's over there working on his bench, but we had leftovers from our Mother's Day supper. So we had some steak and we'd had baked potatoes last night and they didn't all get eat. They were really big potatoes. And Matt put them in the refrigerator and then tonight he just sliced them and then he did supper and then fried them on both sides, made them real crispy. And Corey sent us, Katie had to go take Corey something, and Corey sent us some salad and some asparagus. She'd cooked asparagus for, I guess, for their supper tonight. And then we had a few rolls left over. And so it was really delicious supper, even though it's all leftovers and thanks to Corey. And then we had some leftover dessert that I made. So it was a very tasty and easy supper, especially easy for me because Matt did all that. The shed's coming along, except he was watching the weather a little while ago and said he didn't know when he'd get to work on it again, but he has worked on it since, I guess since the last video y'all saw. What have you got done, Matt? You got all the rafters on?
Yeah,
all the rafters are on.
Ridge pole and all the rafters.
And the ridge pole, he says.
Yeah, and then now it's time to strip it and put the metal on it.
Now, next is to strip it and put the metal on it. So he's getting there little by little. He's getting there. I love leftovers too. I've heard some people say they didn't like them, but I love them. A lot of things are better the second day. It seems like, thinking about soups and things like that. It seems like that they're better.
What this distracts me from doing that.
Oh, yeah, Matt's actually working on a deer stand or something. That's why he said that distracts him from being on the shed. So. Oh, well, thank you for clicking the like. I appreciate that. We are getting close to being 300,000 subscribers. So if any of you have not subscribed, we would appreciate it if you did. And it's free to do that. Maybe there's a button here where y'all can see it right here below my video where you just click subscribe and it's free. Asparagus is good. Yeah. Oh, you're very, very welcome. We should do more lives of the evening. I know I do it Monday morning because that's just convenient for me, but I know that's not convenient for everyone else. I did hear the roar. Yeah, like that roar. That's when my mind when I was going through the machinery, helicopter, what I was trying to think about. It is a weird, strange sound. I can't imagine being in a place where it was really a severe earthquake, where things do fall and people get hurt and all that. I can't imagine because it is scary, even though like that one just lasted a very, very short amount of time because it's startling because you don't know what it is. And it's like gives you an eerie feeling, I guess. Oh, y'all are so kind. Thank you. Oh, that was nice to get fresh asparagus. Matt and Corey really love Brussels sprouts. Corey used to cook them all the time. I don't know if she still does. I'm bad, but I don't like them much. I like them okay, but I'd rather have like just cabbage or something like that. So Matt doesn't get them much, but I should make them for him because he likes them. I didn't know that, Brenda. I didn't know that. I'm sorry to hear that. That Squire Parsons had passed away, Brenda says. It is creepy. It is very creepy. The earthquakes are creepy is what we're talking about. I'm sorry, I forget to tell y'all, and it goes so fast, I know you may not see it either. Asparagus wrapped in bacon. Someone says they love that. My nephew, Ben, his wife, Rachel, when we have Thanksgiving and when we have Christmas, we can count on her to bring that. That's what she brings, and everybody loves it. So it's really good, but that's what she'll bring. The asparagus that we grow most often, I just cook it, and which is probably, I know that's what Corey did tonight to that, what she sent up here. It's just roasted in the oven. I think Corey had put some Parmesan cheese on hers though, or some kind of cheese, just a little bit, just a tiny bit. I usually don't do that, but it is good. It's really good. I love it. Yes, David, I do have some wisdom. I just thought I'd talk for just a minute and then I'll share the wisdom. I got some great wisdom. Y'all keep leaving me the wisdom each week, and I just love it. It gives me something to study on and think about, and encourages me and inspires me. So I really, really love it. Oh, I'm sorry, Keela. I will pray for your family losing Miss Faye. Alana, that sounds really good to cook asparagus that way with salt and pepper smothered in butter on the grill. I don't think I've ever had it grilled. Granny is okay. Granny's doing okay. I talked to her today. Daryl, that sounds good. With this rain that we have had, I cannot believe how our stuff has just grew by leaps and bounds. Our beans are up, so that's exciting. We've not, I was in the big garden on Saturday. I helped Corey plant some stuff. Me and Katie did. And I didn't see any corn, but maybe since then it's come up. But some of the stuff in our little backyard garden, especially the cilantro I had bought from Betty and Pat and planted it. And then I guess it was Saturday evening, I made tacos, and nobody likes cilantro but me. But I went out there to get me some cilantro to go on my tacos. And I swear it was like it had grew 6 inches since the last time I looked at it. It was just so crazy. So I know this rain will be good for everything to grow for sure. Oh, Rhonda, I'm sorry. 105 years old. Wow. Rhonda, one of Rhonda's church members died today, 105 years old. That's amazing. Pastor Lon, I do talk to him sometimes, or to his wife, Robbie Lynn. He's just still in need of prayer, still having some health problems. So please do still pray for Pastor Lon. I talked to Robbie Lynn, or didn't talk, but texted with Robbie Lynn over the weekend. So please just continue to remember them in prayer. They would greatly appreciate it, I know. Ryan, we do plant by the signs. I have a video on that, and at the beginning of each month on the Blind Pig and the Acorn, I share a post about that month, the way we do it, and all that. You can find more information. Oh, Cindy, I hope you like the Cherokee purples as much as we do. I hope that you do, and that they do good for you. Oh, Martin, well, thank you very much. I will tell Matt that. The way you help everybody is inspiring, Matt. Thank you for being a good role model. He said thank you very much. That was very kind. Oh no, I'm sorry it's creeping in yours too, the vine that I have. Oh, hey, Teresa Sue, you made it. I wonder how cold it is still at your house, or if you've warmed up some. I've heard that too, Diana. I've heard that. Heard that old saying about a whistling woman and a crowing hen will surely come to no good end. Wow, upper 90s in Oklahoma. I don't know if it's supposed to be that hot here. That's great, Karen. That is so great that you're planted that for the first time. I sure hope that y'all enjoy it and that you just keep doing it. I hope so. Tammy, I will pray for you and all the other people that's asked too. I know I missed some there at the beginning when I was talking. 40s at night. 40s at night. That's still a little chilly. Saturday, while we were helping Corey, I got downright cold. Like I was expecting it to still be the temperatures like we've been having. So I wore like my little capris and a sweater, but I thought I'd take my sweater off. I never did. And I was wishing I had pants on. And then that evening I had to do some stuff up here and I was just frigid. And the next morning I got up and just assumed it would be that cold, early in the morning, but the warmth had come back. It was just like that one day of cold weather. It was strange. Ryan, I don't remember that video. Oh, growing outside. I thought you said inside, outside my window. I'll have to think about that. I thought you said inside, and I was going to say maybe that was somebody else's video, but only plant I have inside is I have an aloe plant. I don't get enough sunshine in any of my windows to really have indoor plants. I tried when we first moved in ages ago, but it just couldn't do it near my window. I have to think about that. Oh, I wonder, was it the where I talked about the princess tree, that a princess tree took root just all of a sudden and come up in my flower bed under my window in my kitchen? That might have been the one you were talking about. And I wrote about that on the Blind Pig and the Acorn. You can find it there by searching in the search bar, like fairy tale, because I said it was like a fairy tale. And it really was. It turned out to be a fairy tale. I learned something about one of my great uncles that I would have never known if it had not been for that tree. And I did remove it. It's not, of course, I couldn't leave a tree right there up close to the house. It's gone. And one never come back. Like a lot of people told me back then on the blog, like you can remove it, but you probably can't really remove it. There'll always be a piece of it grow back, but it never come back. It was like it just come to get me to go find that story about my great uncle, and then it was gone. Okay, Ryan. Yeah, it was a princess tree. Yeah. I love that little series though that I did about the fairy tale, because it grew really fast like that too, and it had humongous big leaves, and they were just real soft, and then eventually it grew because Matt and Granny, both of them would tell me they'd see it, and Granny in those days could walk up here and was still spry. Said, you can't leave that under your kitchen window. You've got to move that. And I was like, I know. And then finally one morning when I come in to get my morning coffee, in those days I was still drinking coffee, I noticed there's just like something was weird in the kitchen. I couldn't figure out what it was. It took me a while. It was because the tree had got up in the window and the leaf was like looking in at me. I said my fairy tale was finally looking in at me again. After I'd been watching it, not long after that, I had to remove it, of course. But anyway, that was it. The princess tree that my great uncle brought out here, thinking he was bringing a different kind of tree, but it was not. Well, thank you, Ryan. It was one of my favorite stories too, just because it led me to find out about my uncle that I never knew, of course. Pap could remember him, but he passed away. He actually died in his 50s, so I sure didn't know him. But I think I would have liked him. It's a Ira. It's like a princess tree is one name, and an empress tree. It is not native to nowhere in the United States, but it got brought here. I think it has something to do with like soldiers bringing it back. Maybe I may be wrong about that. I probably wrote about it on the Blind Pig and the Acorn, but I forgot all these years later. but it's not native to the United States. And in Western North Carolina, there are places where if you're a local person to Western North Carolina and you've ever driven, like even on I-40 between, say, Haywood County, sometime and in the gorge, so really Nantahala Gorge, or between Canton in Haywood County and Asheville in Buncombe County, you've probably in the summer you've probably seen them growing right on the side of the road. They have like a purplish bloom that kind of hangs down, and big leaves, big old leaves. I mean, really big leaves. So you might have seen them, but they don't. Like, even then, when I found out how invasive they were, they must not like Wilson Holler, because the one tree that he did bring out here, actually there's two down there. The one tree's gone. The cattle that's in that pasture ate the bark off of it and it died. So between when I wrote about it and now, in between in these years, the cattle have destroyed it, so it died. But it was there, and then there was there's one back in behind it, up a little holler there that I can see sometimes, a small one, but that's the only two. One other time there was one of the first houses as you come into Wilson Holler, there was one in the first little yard there. It never got very big, but I liked it too. I sometimes called it the Charlie Brown tree because it had those great old big leaves. But when it frost, the first heavy frost of the year, every leaf on the entire tree falls off. It just falls off. And so I don't know why that made me think Charlie Brown, but I guess because like the Charlie Brown Christmas tree. But it's not been there in years. I don't know if somebody pulled it up, or the people that live there cut it down. I don't know what happened to it. And then that one under my window, and that's it. So they must not like Wilson Holler very much, but in other places they are invasive for people. So I think we're ready for I better start talking about some wisdom and quit rattling off. So I've got a question about the beans that we canned, why they were so good. We did season a few of them with bacon grease, but not many. But even the ones we didn't season with bacon grease, we put salt. Salt was the only seasoning. We put salt in all of them, and we put bacon grease in, I don't know, 4 or 5, something like that. But it's just, I don't know. I really can't explain, but they are so good. They're so good. So good. I bought 2 5-pound bags of just plain pinto beans because we're going to do it again. We're going to can them, and they're so handy. I think it's just the process of pressuring them just makes them done to the perfect consistency. And I followed Miss Lori's, how she done hers at Whippoorwill Hollow. So you could go there and search for, pinto beans or cannon beans, and you'd find them. She probably has videos about green beans too, but these were dried beans, cannon dried beans. And they were just so good. And I truthfully can't tell the difference in the ones that we put bacon grease in and the others. So I don't even know if it was worth doing that. And we only put like 1/4 of a teaspoon. We barely put any in it. But they were just delicious. They're so good. Well, let's see, one night last week, and they're so handy. I opened a jar of those beans. What did I have I had little pork tenderloins. I fried that and cornbread. And what did I have with them? Seems like I had something green with them. I had green onions from the yard, but seems like I had something else. Anyway, just made the best little supper, and it was just ready in no time, just no time at all. I did not soak them. So again, go watch Miss Lori at Whippoorwill Hollow. She gives like a detailed explanation. Of course, you can watch that video that we did, but we did not soak them. She said she had found that soaking them or cooking them first. Now I'm rethinking myself. Did I soak them? I don't think so. I think we just we didn't soak them because we did so many different kinds. I would have had to have bowls all over the house. So we didn't soak them. We just did them dry. But she said the reason she didn't cook them first, some people cook them first, was she found that made them too mushy, the end product. And I can see that. So yeah, we didn't soak them first because we did so many different varieties that day. I would have had to have bowls all over the kitchen. We just did them dry. Beans and cornbread. Rhonda is my favorite too. It's just one of the best meals. Especially, I love it any time of the year because, of course, in the winter I can eat my Egyptian walking onions, or you can just have a good onion. But I love them with the spring green onions. It's so good, so good. Oh, that's what Teresa Sue's having tonight. So you're eating good. I'm sorry, Tammy. I will pray for you. Oh, Marie, I'm so glad you like the sweetbread, Pabst sweetbread. It is good and it's easy. Michael, Matt really likes Great Northern beans. He really does. Gracie, we have had ramps. Yeah, we love ramps. There's none that grow right here. Ramps are like a wild, not really an onion and not really a garlic, but it puts you in the mind of that. Better, different than both, I think, but good and similar. But we don't have any that grow right here where we're at, so we'd have to travel a little bit to dig them. And we wanted to do that this year, but we didn't get it done. And it's ramp season's about gone. I've eat kraut with my soup beans, Brian, and I think that's good. Oh, thank you, Holman's friends. Thank you. That's expensive for Egyptian walking onions. That is expensive, especially they grow really prolific. So I've never picked creasy greens. People call them different things. I've never picked those. I would like to. Creasy's. Some of our friends from YouTube that we met through YouTube, they pick like boxes full of them and then they can them. Or I don't remember if they can them or freeze them. I think they can them though. But no, I've never done that. I'd like to. I've never made Yorkshire pudding, Catherine. That sounds good though. Oh, Vanessa, I know that sounds good, doesn't it? The first mess of half runners. I bought Granny some down at Spud Shack, and she really liked them. But even Ray told me they were not that great of the bean. But hopefully the next ones would be better. But she still cooked them and enjoyed them. Okay, let me see about our wisdom. First of all, there was some that I had. Let me see if I can find it that I'd saved from somewhere else. So one of them was from Ron Stevens. This is just a comment on my blog. He's a longtime reader and friend and very wise man. He says, for some, gardening gets in the blood, others little or not at all. Reckon I'm one that it did. Leastways, I peck at it, but don't consider myself an accomplished gardener. Every now and then I encounter a beginner and realize I know a thing or two, but never enough to get proud. Sounds much like Trisha's dad lived my dad's saying, you can do what you have to, but having to is much about character and holding oneself accountable to fulfill responsibilities. Then afterwards, it continues to show up by thinking having done so was nothing out of the ordinary. And it fits moms too on this upcoming Mother's Day. Good moms and dads are priceless, and the world is blessed in their children. But that's really, you can do what you have to. Really wisdom in that. Sometimes I've shared this before. For me, it was a really hard situation. And sometimes there's a relief in knowing I can't fix it, that I just have to, as Miss Cindy would say, I just have to wade through it. I just have to do it. I just have to do it. Because, our minds want to say, well, I could do this or I could do that. Or what about if I did this? How if I fixed it this way? What if I did that way? Sometimes there's like a relief and just in accepting I can't undo this. I just have to get over it. I just have to get to the other side of it, wade across it. So that's the part I really loved, is you can do what you have to, is what his dad said. And it's so true in life. Lots of times we have to do stuff we don't want to do, we don't enjoy, we don't like. It's really, really hard, but we just have to. You just have to. And it does build character, like Ron is saying. So the other one that I think Kelly sent me this in an email. I always told my children, this is from Kelly, I always told my children that harmful words are like dropping your chewing gum in the chicken yard. You can't put it back in. You can't put it back in. So once you say those mean words, you can't take them back. They've already been said. Just like if you drop your chewing gum in the chicken yard, you don't want to put it back in your mouth. So I love both. I just love that analogy, Kelly. Thank you. Okay, that's great. Both of those. Let's see. This is from Mary. Words of wisdom, maybe. When someone asks, "How are you?" my answer is always vertical, and you. They always laugh and they often say, "I'm going to use that one." I've heard that one, Mary, and I really like it. That's a good one. A good way to reply in a positive manner. This is from Jean. My dad would say, can't, never, could do nothing. And that's one that people have shared often, and you've probably heard it like I have my whole life. But it's good to get it in your noggin, in your head, so that you can remember that and encourage yourself. Can't, never, could do nothing. Thank you, Jean. This is from I don't know if I'm going to say it right, so I better just spell it. VALORICA 3210. My daddy always said, if you're going to do it right the first time or don't do it at all. And not doing it was not an option. That is one that I hear in my head when I'm dragging my feet or don't want to do something, because that's what Pap and Granny would say, like, do it right. Just don't. I mean, why are you even going to do it if you're not going to do it right? Do it right and do it right the first time, and you won't have to do it over. So thank you. I hear that one in my head all the time in the voice of Pap and Granny. So this one is from Linda. Linda said, I found these in a book years ago. I liked them so much, I copied them and put them on my fridge as a reminder. You've probably heard them, but I wanted to share. The first one is, if it costs you your peace, then it's too expensive. If it costs you your peace, then it's too expensive. That's a great one. A skeptic, this is a second one. A skeptic is a person who, after he sees the writing on the wall, he claims it's a forgery. Sometimes people just won't face the truth right in front of them. So true. Both of those are very wise and so true. This is from Olivia. Some words of wisdom dealing with family, because I know yours is so important to you. You may outgrow your home place, but you'll never outgrow your people. I like that one. Your last name means something. Carry it with pride. I like that one. The best heirlooms are the stories we pass down. Y'all know I love that because I share stories all the time. Mind your words. They're seeds in little ears. That one's really wise and reminds me of the little Sunday school song, about the little ears and be careful, little eyes, what you see, all of those. Number 5, traditions are just love passed down in secret. Those are really great. Thank you so much for sharing those. Thank you. This is from Betty. This is some wisdom I picked up from a Rolling Stones song. You can't always get what you want, but if you try, sometime you just might find you get what you need. I always told my children this when they were wanting everything. I really like that, Betty. All the way from the Rolling Stones. I like it. This is from Lee. You have such a, let's see, I don't need to read that part about me. I've heard a lot of these words of wisdom and some I haven't. One my mom would tell when things were really bad is, behind every dark cloud there is a silver lining. Of course, meaning things may look bad at the time, but the sun will come out and make it all right again. That's a good one to encourage yourself with, for sure. And you've probably heard that one. Every dark cloud has a silver lining. Thank you, Lee. That's a good one to be reminded of. Patricia said, be careful when you spit in the well. You may need to drink from it someday, was a quote from my great Uncle Willie. Great Uncle Willie, I love that. I love his saying. That's so true. So true. This is from Sandra. I like this one. If you stick your hand into a box and something bites you, are you going to stick your hand back in that box? Sometimes we do, don't we? We stick our hands right back in the same box that bit us. This is from Angle Tate. Wisdom. Success happens when preparedness and opportunity meet each other. That's a good one. Always good to be prepared. Christine, a bit of wisdom. Having resentments is like taking poisoning. Start over. Having resentments is like taking poison and expecting the other person to die. That is good. That is so true. Sometimes we let resentments build and bitterness build it up inside us, and the other person or whoever we're upset about, they don't even know it. It's just hurting us. So thank you, Christine. That's great. This is from my friend Maddie Ann. Tipper, I don't know if this is wisdom or not, but my mother used to tell us when we done something that we shouldn't have done and then wouldn't own up to it, she would tell us to tell the truth and shame the devil. He doesn't like it when you tell the truth. I say that now to my kids. I like that, Maddie Ann. I don't know that I've ever heard anybody say that, but I've read that in some of my Appalachian books. So thank you, Maddie Ann. Kate said, my late husband, when one of the kids would say something wasn't fair, would say, your birth certificate says enter one. It doesn't say anything about it being fair. I like that. It's often you hear from kids, and I said it to myself. It's not fair. Life's not fair. I wouldn't say, I wish I'd have known that. I could have said that to Katie and Corey, but I would just say, life's not fair. It's never fair. So you have to just get used to it. Joe said, when I said I can't, my mama said can't never could do anything. That's another version of the can't one. I love all of those. Lisa said, words of wisdom. People in glass houses should never throw stones. That's Lisa from Oklahoma. So true. So true. This is from Seven Water Tiger. A thing I read this morning that truly struck me. Comfort teaches nothing. Words of wisdom for sure. That one is comfort teaches nothing. Seven Water Tiger. Thank you so much. Comfort teaches nothing. I've been thinking about that a lot, studying that, not that exact comment, but piece of wisdom. Your wisdom goes right along with my thoughts for, I don't know, for 2 or 3 months, how we don't, especially thinking about in the life of a believer, how often we don't learn or grow in the Lord unless we suffer. It takes suffering to teach us. But I really love that one. Thank you so much. Kim said, don't say I can't, say I'll try. It's good. And then Kim also said, honesty without tact is cruelty. Think before you speak. So true. Yeah. Both of those are good. Thank you, Kim. Brenda said, I remember my father sharing this wisdom with me. If you put your troubles in a pile with everyone else, you will be glad to walk away with your own. Thank you, Brenda, for that one. A lot of people, since we've been doing this, have left that or a version of that. And I'd never ever heard it before, but I think of it now. It's true. Like if you're feeling down and out about something, chances are there's somebody worse than you like that. If you put it all in there, you'd say, yeah, I'll take my troubles. I'll just take them right back. Compared to yours. This one was from Sainer. Here's a few words of wisdom I enjoy. The difference between try and triumph is just a little oomph. I like that one a lot. That one's really smart. Happiness is a life well lived. And from a favorite writer, success usually comes to those who are too busy to be looking for it. And that was Henry David Thoreau. Those are all great ones. Thank you for sharing those. This is from the Holmans, my friends, the Holmans Homestead. If you've not visited their channel, you should. Words of wisdom. If you want God to open and close doors, you need to let go of the doorknob. Let go of the doorknob. I really love that. So often that's how I am. I want God to do it, but I want him to do it the way I want him to do it. And I'm asking him for that, and I'm holding on tightly to that doorknob. So thank you so much, friends, for that one. Holman's Homestead. This is from Linda. On the words of wisdom, I always say the same thing that I feel in my heart, body, and soul. That is, in this world where you can choose to be anything, be kind to each other, because you never know what the other person is going through. Your kindness to them could be the one thing that helps them get through something that you know nothing about. So true, Linda, and such a good reminder. We should always be kind because you don't never know. That might be the only kind word, or even, we've talked about lots of the wisdom's been about smiles. That might be the only thing that brightens someone's day. This is from Amy. My grandfather lived to be 98. When we'd ask him how he was doing, he would respond, I'm upright and taking nourishment. Always with a smile. I've heard that, taking nourishment too, like from older people saying that, I'm upright and taking nourishment, or he's able to take nourishment now, like if someone had been sick. So Amy, thank you so much for sharing that one. I like that. This is from B. Johnson. My words of wisdom for today: broken crayons still color. As I experience brokenness, I have to remind myself that I can still color. Isn't that a powerful thing to think about? Very moving and powerful. That one's really good. Thank you for sharing it. A good reminder, too, for anyone that is feeling broken on the inside. You're still valuable, and you can still color. You can still do beautiful things. This is from S. Beck Witt. S. Beck Witt. Tears are the love pouring out of your heart. And then this kind of goes along with the one I just read. This is from S. Beck Witt too. I sure hope that one about being able to make a work of art out of any mistake is true. Lord, I must be close to being a great artist. I feel like that sometimes too. That was one last week that was kind of like the crayon, but slightly different, but talking about messing up, but you keep trying and becoming, your life's like an artist. You can just change your life, and it's never too late to, if you feel like you've messed up or whatever, to change the canvas and change your life. This is from Teresa. The greatest battles are won on the knees. I love this. It is so true. We would probably lose many if we did not take them to the Lord. Thank you, Teresa, for that. This is from M. Days 9753. Never cut what you can untie. That's a really wise one. That's from Robert Frost. I thought that was mighty powerful. It is. That's a mighty powerful one. Thinking about if you could just untie it instead of just cutting it, destroying it. This is, I think, Old North State. Don't lean on your shovel and pray for a hole. You'll never plow a field by turning it over in your mind. That was from Chris Pelliter from Homesteading the Hard Way on YouTube. Both of those, thinking about being a believer, is that, of course, God will help us, but we need to do our part. So those are great. Thank you. This is from Sherry. A word of wisdom from my daddy was that a man is only as good as his word. If I borrow $1 from you and say I'll pay you back on Friday at 4:00, you better show up with that dollar on Friday before 3:59. I like that, Sherry. Our word should be good. This is from Tracy. Let's see. Words of wisdom. Not where you've been, but where you're going. Not where you've been, but where you're going. That, again, is hopefulness for anybody that's in a bad situation. Not where you've been, but where you're going. I like that. Thank you so much. This is from Joanne. Let your conscience be your guide. And also, united we stand, divided we fall. Both of those are good ones to be reminded of. Patricia said, my mom always said, pretty is as pretty does. Granny said that too. Granny would say that to me. This is from The Rooted Witness. My grandmother used to say that a job worth doing ought to be horse high, bull strong, and pig tight. I never quite understood it as a kid, but I do now. It means the work should stand tall, hold firm, and leave no room for carelessness. It's the kind of wisdom that doesn't just apply to fences, but to life, relationships, promises, faith. She didn't leave behind riches, but she left behind words that still hold, and I figure that's its own kind of inheritance. Boy, it sure is. It sure is, and it's a worthy inheritance for sure. Thank you so much for sharing your grandmother's wisdom. Mary said, not exactly words of wisdom, but my late husband used to say, celebrate every birthday because you never know which one will be your last. He's been gone almost 34 years, but I still follow his advice. I'm so sorry you lost him, Mary, but thank you for sharing his advice. That is really good advice. We just don't know. We don't know what tomorrow holds for any of us. This is from Chatton. Can't complain is what I usually say to strangers that ask how I'm doing. Sometimes I add, wouldn't do much good if I did. Thank you so much for sharing words of wisdom, Tipper, and thanks to all that share theirs, including the stories of who they learned them from. So many new to me and inspiring ones each week. I feel exactly like that. Thank you to all of y'all. It's so inspiring and so heartwarming, and just such value, such truth and value in them. Can't saying to Chad and saying can't complain is what I usually say to strangers and wouldn't do any good. That's a positive outlook. Like I might as well not even talk about my problems. Might as well just say I can't complain. So I like that part too. This is from M to Elvis. For words of wisdom, sitting with grief is how I honor what it was real. Sitting with grief is how I honor what was real. That was a really powerful one. We were talking about grief. This is from Aunt Mary. That's a good one for your Monday Live words of wisdom. This was on a different video than the one of the lives. But stop if you're too tired to think things through. Big projects like this shed require mental and physical stamina. Matt is going about it just right. So thank you, Aunt Mary. That's true. That's good advice. And I'm bad not to do that. I'll work myself into the ground, and then I'm not thinking straight, and I'm not doing good work of whatever it is either. So I need to take those to heart. This is from Tina. Monday words of wisdom. God is always in control, but he doesn't expect you to lean on a shovel and pray for a hole. That goes right along with that other one we read. Thank you, Tina. And that was it. That was all the wisdom from last week, the ones that I captured. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for visiting with me today twice. Some of you tried this morning, and the internet just wouldn't work. The thunder and rain in Brasstown wouldn't let me go live. So I'm so glad I got to visit with you today. I always love to spend Mondays with you, and I like to share that wonderful wisdom, update you on what's going on with us, and also just, pray, share our prayer requests with each other. And we wish each of you to have a really wonderful week. I hope this week's wonderful. I hope you don't have bad weather where you're at or too much rain. And some of you that need the rain, maybe some of us that may have too much, I wish we could just swap it out. We could just share like neighbors across the fence, or like me and Granny and Corey do. I have to go down at Granny's and borrow sugar, or she has to send up here and borrow a tomato, something like that. I wish we could just share like that all the time with each other. But I do appreciate all the things you do for us. Me and Matt really appreciate each and every one of you. We couldn't do what we do without you. We just really love you all. We really, really do. And I hope you have a wonderful week, and I hope you'll join me next Monday. Love you all.